The wait for it has been long, but we finally have an affordable new Skoda. This right here is the Skoda Kylaq. We've seen it in camouflage and we've seen the test mules, but here it is in all its glory. As you can see, the design is typically Skoda. It does look a little bit like a shrunken Kylaq, but I don't think that's a bad thing because the Kylaq is one handsome SUV. And I know you are keen to know about the details of this brand new subcompact SUV. But before we get into that, make sure you subscribe to Car and Bike and hit the bell icon so you're notified every time we upload a new video. Now, come with me as I talk you through the Kylaq. So at first glance, you will notice that the face of the Kylaq has that typical Skoda element where the grille is integrated with the LED daytime running lights which are on top, and the headlights themselves are split so they are placed lower down. The bumper has this matte mesh type finish which looks quite nice, and this matte silver lip effect which really adds to the character of the front end, and the bonnet is also nice and sculpted. This is based on the MQB A0 in architecture which also underpins the Kylaq and the Slavia, but of course this is a smaller vehicle. The length of the Kylaq is 3,995 millimeters. In width, it measures 1,783 millimeters, while the height is 1,619 millimeters. But the important statistic to note is the wheelbase of the Kylaq, because this one measures in at 2,566 millimeters. That makes it the longest wheelbase in the class, barring that of the Mahindra XUV 3XO, which has a 2,600 millimeter wheelbase. And as you can see, this one rides on 17-inch wheels. I'm sure the lower variants will have smaller wheels. This is the top of the line variant, so it has the 17-inch dual tone alloy wheels. And towards the back, you will see that one of the newer design trends we've seen is missing from the Kylaq. You don't get a linked tail light. You've got split tail lights, and these remind me of some other VW and Skoda models. Which models come to your mind? Let me know in the comments. Now let's jump into the Kylaq and see what it's like over there. So now I'm in the driver's seat of the Kylaq, and taking a look at the dashboard, I can tell you that the Kylaq's design language has been carried over inside as well, but it is not the same. It's not a carbon copy, which is good and gives this a character of its own. As you can see, the dashboard has this multiple layer sort of effect, and there are different materials used. So here I feel a little bit of a fabric type finish. I'm not sure if this is fabric, it feels like plastic, but it does add some texture to the dashboard when you look at it. Over here you've got your 2-spoke steering wheel like you do on other Skoda models, and you've got a twin screen layout. So there's a 10.25-inch touchscreen infotainment system, and you have an 8-inch digital driver's display. Also to be noted are the features on the Kylaq. This is the top of the line variant, and it packs 6-way power adjustable front seats with ventilation. Along with that, you also get an electric sunroof. It's not a panoramic sunroof like you get now on the Nexon, but it is still a pretty decent size. But we don't know which variants of the Kylaq will get it. And in terms of safety equipment, the Kylaq will come with 6 airbags as standard, and there will be traction control and stability control available as well. Let's quickly get into the back seat of the Kylaq and see how spacious it really is. So now I'm in the back seat of the Kylaq, and what I can say is that the Kylaq was not really the most spacious compact SUV you could buy, and the Kylaq also doesn't feel extremely spacious at the rear. I haven't set the driver's seat all the way forward, so it is placed a little bit further back what my driving position would be. I'm 5'6". As you can see, I have decent knee room. I have some good foot room as well. Headroom seems to be decent as well, but taller people may find themselves brushing against the driver's seat. You've got rear AC vents, so that is a good touch that will ensure that you are comfortable on longer journeys. You've got 2 USB Type-C ports as well. The good part is the rear seat has headrests for all 3 passengers, and you've also got 3-point seat belts for all passengers. Now let's quickly take a look at the boot capacity of the Kylaq. Come closer and take a look at the boot space of the Kylaq. So with the rear seats in place, you've got 446 liters of boot space, and that is a pretty decent boot. But if you want more space, you can fold down the rear seats, and that will give you up to 1265 liters of cargo space. Now let's go to the front of the vehicle and take a look at its engine. Under the hood of the Kylaq, you will find the familiar 1-liter TSI engine. This turbo petrol motor is heavily localized, and that's how Skoda has been able to achieve a competitive starting price. This one produces 115 horsepower and 178 Newton meters of torque. Skoda claims that with this engine and with the 6-speed manual gearbox, the SUV will be able to crack 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in just a little over 10 seconds and go on to a top speed of 188 kilometers an hour. Now that's something that we'll have to test for ourselves, but those numbers sound promising. And like I said, the transmission options will include a 6-speed manual as well as a 6-speed torque converter automatic. So that's a quick first look at the Skoda Kylaq, the one that's going to take the fight to the Tata Nexon, the Maruti Brezza, Kia Sonet, Hyundai Venue and the Mahindra XUV 3XO. Full prices will be announced on December 2, but I'm sure you're waiting for this. We already have the starting price for the Kylaq. It is 7,89,000 rupees. That is an introductory ex-showroom price for the base variant, and we get to see the base variant, see what it's like, see what features it's missing, but we'll get to that soon. For now, tell us what you think of the Kylaq. If you're excited to know that deliveries of the Kylaq will begin on January 27. If there are some features that you like, if there are some features that you think should have been added to the Kylaq, let us know your thoughts in the comments section. If you have any feedback, we'll be happy to hear it. If you enjoyed watching this video and found it informative, then give us a thumbs up and make sure to share this video with your friends and family who may be interested in the Skoda Kylaq.